Like, it's just where all the dealers go and artists go to hang out and like rub shoulders with people. And when I switched over, there was a kind of misconception that like people that work in art always want to have these rarefied, intensely aesthetic experiences, but that's really not the case.
I'm Andrew Russeth, and this is The Art Angle, a podcast from Artnet News. At the end of last year, Annie Armstrong stepped down as Artnet's gossip columnist after filing 198 wet paint columns over the span of 4+ years. Gabi Vidal-Irizarry has picked up the mantle. Annie departed the art world for the food world to write for Caper Media, an enterprising new startup that aims, in its words, to tell the inside story of the restaurant business in New York. While Annie's on a new beat, she's found that the art and restaurant worlds are closely intertwined in New York, and her must-read weekly column regularly charts the goings-on of promising artists, dealers, and collectors in our city's dining establishments. Especially remarkable art-food crossovers have just arrived. Sotheby's, the new museum, and Amant out in Brooklyn all have high-profile and highly ambitious new restaurants. Annie's been to all three, and so it was a thrill to have her back on the Art Angle to discuss those spots, as well as where art people like to eat and places that she recommends gallery goers visit while in different neighborhoods.
Annie, thank you so much for coming back on the Art Angle. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so glad to be back. It feels great.
Oh my gosh. You are now tearing up a storm, writing about the restaurant scene in New York. And what's been amazing following your column at Caper is that there have been all sorts of art overlaps. I mean, to start out with, just how's it going over there with the new column and the slightly different beat?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's very, very, very different. I was just saying that it's very refreshing to start over as kind of a novice again. I am in an industry where people do not know my name. I don't have what paint to write on anymore as like kind of like my entree into a room. I'm simply myself. So that's very new. And food is different. Food is just a really different beat. I've made the comparison a few times that like reporting on the art world is sort of like being in England where we have the royal family and we love our royal family and God save the Queen. But reporting on food is kind of like living in Ireland where you hate the man on the hill and we do not really revere our leaders. It's interesting. The industry leaders are like kind of not as respected.
I love that. It's fun for a journalist.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I want to hear more about that. Oh my gosh. Cool. One of your recent columns delved into this kind of remarkable thing that has happened where 3 major art institutions in New York have new restaurants. The most high profile probably, or the most recent certainly, being Oberon at the new museum. There's Zoli at Amant out in Brooklyn. There's Marcel out at Sotheby's, which you were gracious enough to take me to right when it opened.
The night it opened.
Yeah, the night it opened. Oh my gosh. And we saw celebrities. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Maybe we start there. Let's start with Marcel, because that was a huge thing at Sotheby's in the Breuer building. Talk us through that one.
All 3 of these restaurants are taking different approaches to what it means to be a restaurant that's attached like an art center. And I think Marcel is the most cannily like we are attached to a commercial enterprise that is selling things. It is Roman and Williams, which has La Mercerie downtown, which is kind of in, I don't know if you've been in Soho. It's close to y'all's offices. You can buy a couch there at the same time as you buy lunch. And so when you go uptown to Marcel, you can buy a dinosaur's tooth at the same time you buy a martini.
The room just drips money, right? It's like you just have this feeling that they just spared no expense in plowing money into this room.
Because I think that's probably accurate. And they're charging through the nose for it. What did you think of our meal there?
I thought it was fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked what they were trying. I love grand old French restaurants, La Grenouille, that sort of thing. And I mourn those institutions having closed. But it was fine. The food was fine.
Yeah.
At that price point, if I was paying with my own credit card, I would have been disappointed.
Same. Something that I tried to write about in this most recent column is just that like all 3 of these places are sort of contending with these rooms that are really grandiose. You're sort of already sensorily, you're like overstimulated even just being in these places. So having purple food in front of you maybe doesn't always feel right. I mean, we ordered kind of crazy. We ordered the jellied beef.
Yeah.
Right?
I insisted. I'm sorry. I wanted the aspic jelly thing.
It was good. It was good. But like, that was what was on the menu. And it's like when you have these contending forces, like I was just really like mesmerized by trying to just place myself in the room and then also like trying to have an opinion of it. Was just a lot.
Do you think it's been a success for Sotheby's? Has it been bringing in the sort of people they want?
I think so. I haven't been back, but I see it on my Instagram all the time. It seems like a huge power lunch kind of place and a real flex for people to go. People love to take pictures of the room, obviously. And those martini glasses that I think they charge $300 for, I think maybe more, $350 for a martini glass that you can just take home after you drink the freezer martini there, which was very cold, if I recall.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah.
And beautiful glasses.
It's decadent. It's like really, really, really decadent. I never got to go to Flora Bar. You went to Flora Bar.
Yeah, but right? I will admit, I never had a full meal there. I would show up and have a glass of wine, maybe a pastry kind of midday. It was well loved from my understanding. Yeah.
Right. And I think that a lot of people are comparing it to that and seem to think that Flora Bar maybe had a better approach to batting back against like the huge wave of the brutalist architecture and how just imposing that can be on your experience.
Totally.
But just the pastry case there is beautiful to look at.
It's like, gorgeous. It cracked me up that Sofia Coppola was there on the first night because the vibe was so Marie Antoinette. It was just like...
It was too perfect.
Too perfect and just so indicative of this kind of prevailing... I mean, I don't want to get into it, but like just the inequality in New York, the immense wealth in New York. And here is a place where the food is mediocre and yet the room is filled, people are splashing out, and just the money is flowing. It's phenomenal, bizarre.
It's kind of shocking. Yeah, it's very let them eat cake.
Yes.
And I think the opposite of that has been Oberon, in my experience.
So this is OMA designed. You enter in through the Freeman Alley. Yeah. Give us the look and feel of the room.
Yeah, I think that where Marcel tried to like meet the Breuer where it was at, Oberon, like you walk in, it's like you're walking in through like a laundry chute, but in a nice way. Like you walk in through like a metal tube to get to the maitre d's station. And it's like 6 people are waiting for you. And they ferry you back to your room. It's all made of cork. The way it sounds in there is really cool. Like the audio like qualities.
Nice. Which is important.
Of the dining room, which is important. Like it absorbs a lot of the sound. And you sort of feel like you're on Mars or like kind of just like a barren earth.
Wow.
It's perfect for the new museum, I think, because it's very experimental. And then there are plants lining the walls, and then Ian Chang has a big robot, like immersive wall artwork.
Love it.
Which you can play chess with.
Wow. Did you do it?
No, I didn't do it. This is actually kind of bad form in food media, is going on opening night and then making an assessment, because it's sort of like going to an art fair in the first hour and being like, it was slow.
Sure.
It's funny, the Ian Chang piece is the only light source in the restaurant. So it all is like from the glow of the screen, which feels very new museum to me. So like there's a lot of experimental elements to the design. I think it's really well executed. And then the food itself is just pretty simple.
Cool.
It's a really approachable menu, which I think has been somewhat controversial with the food side of consumers in the room.
Interesting.
When I went on opening night, it was like sort of half food media people and half art world people, which was really fun for me. And I think that reviews were thus mixed. How I felt about Oberon was that I think that the next time I go to the new museum, which I'm really excited to do, I saw that the Arthur Jaffa is the next exhibition there. Like if I'm cutting my experience at the museum in half with a meal, I'm not going to want something that's like much more complicated than a half roast chicken or like just a simple salad. So that I think is what they're proposing.
Interesting. And what is your sense of the audience? Is that the goal, that it's museum visitors? Does it have broader ambitions to be a kind of destination?
It does have broader ambitions. I interviewed Henry Rich. He runs the Oberon Group, which is the hospitality group that won the bid against a lot of other different hospitality groups that wanted to put the restaurant in the museum. And he said, part of this is like the manifestation is entering through Freeman Alley. So you can go after museum hours. It stays open till 1 a.m., which is like very late. And he wants it to be a neighborhood restaurant. He wants the people living around to go and get a burger and like have it be a place you go to multiple times, which I think is a very different approach from a lot of different museum restaurants where you go to the Modern maybe once every 5 years.
Right.
You know,
it's a special occasion place. Maybe you do a glass of wine before something there, but yeah, you're not going to splash out. Sidebar about Freeman's Alley. Do you go to Freeman's? Do people go to Freeman's, the restaurant at the end of the alley?
I know that was such a thing, but I don't think it is anymore.
Okay.
I have been, but it was once quite the hotspot, right?
Yeah, we're dating ourselves here. I'm quite a bit older than you. When I first graduated college, it was such a remarkable thing. It felt like the speakeasy vibe was going on. They had devils on horseback.
That does date you.
It felt like a kind of new era down there. I love that it still exists. I want to go back.
You should, yeah. I remember going when I first moved to New York, but I have not been back since. But not for any reason. But yeah, I don't think it's quite the hang that it used to be.
Got it. All right, I'm sidetracking us. So the third one in the big three that have opened up is Zoli, out in Amant. The whole thing blows my mind that this restaurant exists at this institution out in Bushwick. Walk us through it.
Have you been?
I don't want to, spoiler alert, right? The Pier Weed tanks. I went when they installed the weed tanks. They had like a party, but there was no food going. It was just beers and wine.
It's really a stunning building.
The room is astonishing. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I feel equal parts like I'm in Copenhagen or Tokyo, and then like a mysterious third place that I've never been to before. It's so fun to think about Lonty Evers, who opened Amant. She just got to build what she wanted to see out there, like from the ground up. It's just such a dream. And then the chef at Zoli is this guy, Ned Baldwin, who is the executive chef at Houseman, which is the restaurant that Barbara Gladstone was an investor in. And they were very good friends. So he actually has a Yale MFA. And he was a working studio artist, I would guess, like until he was 25. So he has like these inroads into the art world.
Sure.
He's really following his heart out there. The food is really interesting. It's very oceanic. It's a lot of fish. And then you go there and you're having this like flayed black sea bass. And then you are eating it by the Pierre aquarium, which is like all kind of themed around like environmental decay. And I think all the fish is very locally sourced. So like that kind of tension is like on your mind when you're over there, which is maybe not super appetizing. But
I was going to say, to me, it sounds kind of perverse, kind of unpleasant. But how are the reviews?
Fantastic. He's just like racking up raves after raves. Like Helen Rossner just wrote a big rave piece about it for the New Yorker. And all of it is about how it is challenging diners. Like I said, I just want to eat like a half roast chicken. I might not have the most complex palate. I liked it. I like Zoli, but it's like food that does not taste like food I've ever had before, is what I'll say.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm in your camp where what you were saying about sometimes wanting a simple meal after a kind of intense art experience. I remember SF MoMA, when it was renovated by Snoetta, this was, 8, 9, 10 years ago, they had this restaurant in the lobby, and the conceit was that it was curated. And so there were like great dishes from around the world, from high-end restaurants, and some kind of lower-end ones. It was too much. I don't want to think about this. I've just gone through an exhibition for 2 hours, whatever. I just want a chicken, a burger. Don't make me think about like which small bites, avant-garde things I want to eat.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm just not thinking about it in that way. I think that might just be because I like have historically not really thought about food in that way. Like I am kind of new to just being really attentive to food. Zoli's strength, I think, is that it is the least attached to the museum out of all three of them. Yeah. So you really can go and it's like its own experience. Just the room is staggeringly gorgeous. And they just opened their upstairs.
Wow.
Where they're introducing a menu that is sort of more approachable, which I haven't tried yet. So I'm very curious about it.
I love it.
And there's like a rooftop garden up there. Zoran Mamdani went there.
That man's everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. I mean, as you said, it's challenging people's taste. It's sort of food that you've not quite experienced before. The room is ambitious. Will it work? Will people make the trek over there? Or are there people in the neighborhood that want to eat there again and again?
I think that's going to be their biggest challenge, is getting people over there and getting the type of people that they want to go to what they would call East Williamsburg and what we have already called Bushwick.
I'm confused about, where the cutoff is.
Yeah. I think all of the positive press is going to be great. And I think that there's so much investment in it that it's not going to be going anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that'll be the big challenge for Zoli.
Yeah. Oh man, so interesting. And so then let's pivot a little bit. And as I was saying at the start, your column has done this amazing thing at Caper where even though you're writing about the restaurant world, the food world, you've gone so deep in it, art keeps coming up again and again. And so my first broad question for you is, why are art people so obsessed with restaurants? And are restaurants obsessed with art? It sounds like a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this was one of the best things about reporting on the art beat for as long as I did and do, is that the traveling circus of people engaged in fine art just really treasure taste and experience. When I would go to fairs like in Paris or Basel, I did not have to think at all about where I was going to eat, because if I just follow the leader, I would end up at really tremendously great places. It was so interesting to talk to that guy, Ned Baldwin, who is the chef at Zoli, because for him, there's so much overlap between what he was aspiring to do with his ceramics practice and then what he's actually doing with his chef career. It's all just like sensory experience, striving for a more beautiful, better experience of life.
Totally.
Yeah.
What do you think art people look for in a restaurant? I ask because as we were preparing, we were trading links back and forth, and there was an article from New York Magazine about when Lucky Strike closed. The great bar, kind of very chill, almost kind of tavern grill in Soho. And Jeffrey Deitch had this amazing quote where he said, the food was not super adventurous. His point was that art people, artists, they don't want to sit around talking about the food. I'm curious if you think that's true. And just generally, what do art people want in a restaurant?
I think usually we're seeking like a cafeteria kind of feeling where you walk into a place and you reliably get to rub shoulders with other people. And that was definitely what Lucky Strike was. It's what Walker's to me is now.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that that's probably the most logical antecedent to Lucky Strike.
Explain Walker's for people who don't know.
Walker's is a historic tavern.
Yeah,
I guess
I call it a tavern.
Tavern. Yeah, in Tribeca. And since all the galleries moved to Tribeca, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it's become the meetup spot. Like on Tribeca openings nights, I will go there and I cannot even get 10 feet into the restaurant without having to say hi to a million different people. And then even on nights where it's not that way, like it's just where all the dealers go and artists go to hang out and like rub shoulders with people. And when I switched over, there was a kind of misconception that like people that work in art always want to have these rarefied, intensely aesthetic experiences, but that's really not the case. Fine art people like Jeffrey Deitch hanging out and eating a cheeseburger, it's a very high-low visual.
Yeah.
And I think we all kind of seek that. Like I love when the whole art world goes to Joe's Stone Crab in Miami, and we all are kind of just like a little bit like reticent to be there, not really wanting to do it, but for that reason it's so much more fun, and you just like really let your hair down.
Cafeteria food, I think, is a good line. It's like they want a certain scene. I think history goes a long way. And the sense that you're just going to run into people you know. Like, I'll just shout out Kenny Schachter, one of our columnists. He only dines at Fleming on the Upper East Side. And the food, it's fine. It's not the world's greatest food, but that's a room where it's just the most interesting people walk in. And it's very fun. And the staff is really fun. Yeah, rather than have an ultra rarefied vanguard culinary experience, it's about a great salad niçoise, some good pasta,
It was so funny when I first started with Caper. Like, I got the question so many times of like, oh, how often do you go to Michael's? And I was like, I've never been to Michael's once. And it shocked everybody. And then I was like, oh, well, Walker's is obviously the hangout. And everybody was like, what do you mean? Like, what is Walker's? Isn't that just like Irish people going to watch sports? I was like, absolutely not.
Amazing.
It's really different. Yeah.
Amazing. So what are the other places that you run into art people? Because you really have kept yourself in the art world to a large degree. What are go-tos where you just know you're going to be able to run into dealers, artists, gossip, any neighborhood? Where are you going?
Well, we were just discussing Happier Grocery.
Yeah, tell us. I am intimidated by that place. I haven't been. I talked to a writer colleague who loves it. Tell me more.
Yeah, it's a gourmet grocery, which is just like all the rage in New York right now. It opened maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I think, by this woman, Gabriella Khalil, who runs WSA, the members club, and lots of other destination-y places around the world. But it's New York's answer to Erewhon, I think. And I think that was very much her intention when she was opening it. Like, they have these green juices that like very much have like a sticker that you want seen in your Instagram story.
Got it.
And it is right at the nose of Tribeca. Like, it's across Canal. So I don't think it is. It's above Canal. They all go there, and that's quite the scene. I feel like you don't really go there to like chit chat, but like I definitely see art dealers there. The new one is Gosh. Have you been?
I want to go. I worry I'm too old. I worry.
Hang on to your hat. I think I felt too old going there. It's wild. I mean, I was just really, really glad to see something replace that energy that I think has been lacking for a few years. Like when I first started doing wet paint, It was right after the pandemic, and there was just so much intensity around the Dime Square scene. It was so obvious that that was where everything was happening, and that has sort of decentralized since, and nothing, to my knowledge, has really replaced it.
Interesting.
Gosh feels very promising in that way. Whether that's a force for societal good or not, I'm not sure.
When it was Dime Square, people would be drinking at what? Clandestino?
Clandestino, Servos outside,
Yeah.
Kiki's,
Okay.
which is like now embattled. And it was before the hotel came and before
Got
TikTok came.
Got it.
And it just felt a lot more rugged, I
Okay.
guess, a lot more rustic.
And so that spirit, this communal rustic energy, is now at Gosh. Where even is Gosh?
Like rustic is like never the word I would use to describe Gosh, but here we are. Gosh is in the old Juku space.
I don't even know that.
I sound like I'm just speaking gibberish.
This is how clueless I am.
Juku, it's on Mulberry Street,
Okay.
deep in Chinatown.
Got it.
And Max Levay was an investor in it. And it was a nightclub that went 2 floors down.
Yes.
He was always there, like throwing parties and stuff. And it was also an intimidating scene. Like I remember going there and it was like ketamine lollipops were being passed out. And I was like, oh my God. Gosh, kind of has like a similar feeling to that where you go in and you have no idea what's going to happen. And it has like the fine art connections too, because it was started by, I might mangle these numbers, but 3 of the 5 owners of Amanita, the gallery on Bowery. Jacob Hyman really is the man on the ground there. They just started a food program and I have not yet been, but I hear it's really good. Speaking of Kenny Schachter, his son Adrian did the interiors on the 2nd floor where it's like he used AI to like create this kind of like Boschian nightmare velvety situation. It feels like you're in a Clockwork Orange. On that floor, there's also confession booths, and like every few nights or so, I think they actually get priests in there that you can confess to. And another time they were doing piercings through the wall.
These must be some cool priests that want to hang out in.
Yeah. Or they must be really desperate to get some, converts.
Catholicism's back, allegedly, right? This is
yeah. I think it's hand in glove. In the basement, there's like Rachel Harrison prints. There's Mike Kelly behind the bar on the 1st floor. It's really fun. As soon as you walk in, it's a really imposing vibe. You should be scared to walk into Gosh. And I think it's a good thing that there's something like that out there for us.
I support that as well. It's
kind of like a Flaherty's. Like, I feel like there was always like a sense of like fear walking into a Flaherty's. Like, it's sort of like a fun house. Like, something might pop out at you.
Yes.
And it kind of literally would at a Flaherty's. Gosh has that feeling. And I just think that like the way that we look back on the days of Danceteria, we might look back at Gosh and say, we were lucky to have it, even though right now it feels like a little bit like obnoxious or over the top.
Totally. Even like Oberon back in the day when like every waiter was, an artist or academic. And
yeah, the Odeon, I feel like the Odeon still exists. It's definitely a different audience, but not always. I think the Odeon's modern answer is probably food. Lucian Smith's restaurant.
Tell me about that, because this is Lucian Smith, also kind of a you never know what's going to happen, divisive figure.
Yeah, controversial, divisive figure, yeah, for sure. I mean, my colleague at Caper, Chris Crowley, wrote this piece for New York Magazine about how he was using like ChatGPT to come up with recipes in real time. He did not have the cooperation of the Gordon Matta Clark estate to open his version of food, which was obviously Gordon Matta Clark's idea. There's another version of it in Los Angeles that I think does have the cooperation of the estate.
Amazing. This is news to me. I didn't know that.
It's less stylish, and it's more like the charitable aspect of food, which is that it's meant to have like approachable prices and really serve the artist community and hire the artist community.
Is it good? Should we go, the Lucian Smith one?
I think you should go.
Okay.
I think you should go because it's very fun. James Fuentes hosted a dinner there a few weeks ago that was just a blast. I had like, what was it? It was like steak frite in a bowl. In like a styrofoam bowl. I'm not going to call it excellent dining, but I have not called any of these places excellent dining. I don't think it's really what I'm out there looking for.
Totally. I mean, the Fuentes dinner, what's your preference for a gallery dinner, for an art dinner? What would you like to see? It's all over the map, and sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so great.
I think everybody felt set free once they stopped doing seated dinners. Once they all became standing and I didn't feel like I had to be there at a certain time. And if I was late or had to leave early, I would feel guilty. That, to me, is my dream. And then also I think it's much more financially sound for the gallery hosting it to do a standing dinner. That's my zoomed out opinion.
I support both of those things. I'm a big fan of standing. It can be a little anxiety-inducing if you don't have seated places, but you have tables, kind of high school cafeteria vibe. But I think overall, that can be great. Even if it's just like grab a seat and it's kind of like semi-plated, I'm game for that. If you're going to do seated, it should just be like an artist of such august stature. It should be intimate. It should be the people really close to it. When you have these big dinners and it's seated, gigantic, what's going on? Why am I here? Yeah.
Mr. Chow Miami closed, which to me was like a watershed moment. I mean, I was never invited to this dinner, but I was like, oh my God, the Gagosian dinner in Miami is like totally done with. And I was talking about that with some people when I reported that. And they were just like, yeah, but like that kind of dinner is kind of over in the art world. Like people aren't really doing gallery dinners in the way that they used to, which I can kind of see. And I think is probably good.
I'm so happy to hear that. It doesn't make sense. The expense involved,
it didn't make any financial sense. And yeah, I think unless it's like your star artist where you're like selling 6-figure works, there's just no reason. I mean, you obviously want your artist to feel celebrated, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Too much of an albatross. Like I remember being in Tribeca probably around this time last year, maybe fall of last year, reporting wet paint. It was like one of the Thursdays where all the Tribeca galleries were having openings. And one dealer was like, oh, what are you doing after this? I was like, oh, I'm going to this gallery's dinner. And they're like, oh, where is it? I was like, oh, it's at Frenchette. And it was like that moment in American Psycho with the business cards. I was like, oh, that gallery's dinner is at Frenchette. Like, it just like, it
That's
gets
a pretty good flex. Like, a Frenchette dinner is pretty...
It is, yeah.
Pretty good.
But I think it's maybe for the best that that kind of thing is petering out.
It's too much, yeah. You run the numbers. Art's already expensive enough.
You were telling me about, this is such a self-owned to admit out loud, that I've never been to Bottino.
I wasn't even going to touch on it. No, it's fascinating. I think that speaks to just you're of a different generation. You entered at a moment when Bottino... So for the listeners not familiar, I will say shout out Dan DeRay. He wrote a great article at the New York Observer like 15 years ago about Bottino. And this was a restaurant started, it's still there on 10th. It's between 24th and 25th. And it is... super basic, I guess you would call it Italian-inflected food. The funders were Metro Pictures, Barbara Gladstone, and Matthew Marks. It opened, I want to say late 90s, when there just were no great restaurants over there. And they needed a place. They chipped in the money. Now it's a little empire. They have the sandwich spot. And so I was working at Metro 2010 or so, and I would say every other dinner, every third dinner was there that the gallery would do, because it was just like such a staple. And I think that was true of many galleries. I've seen a little bit of a comeback that I think galleries are doing it again, because it's a restaurant that just knows how to execute. They can do the chicken, they can just keep pouring the wine, pour. They're in and out. Because the worst thing about a celebratory gallery art dinner is like, if it's 9:30 and the entree isn't out, like people start losing their minds. Bottino just hits, and they get the job done.
That's important. It's like the cafeteria thing.
Totally.
But like, I never really had dinner out in Chelsea.
No reason to.
When I would even go to dinners with Chelsea galleries, it was never in Chelsea.
Right. And that's a funny thing, that still is true. That it's right. It's not necessarily...
Heads out to West Village or even like Hudson Square.
Yeah. You have lunch in Chelsea. You go to Cook Shop.
Yeah.
I was going to name other things, but sort of it.
That's it. I got the dregs of the Rusty Knot. I was at the end.
Wow.
Right when I moved to New York was the last 2 years of the Rusty Knot. And I was there all the time. And when that closed, I could tell that we were losing a really important hangout for the art world.
I used to love the Rusty Knot. Phenomenal bar. I have one other question. Well, a couple about art restaurants. Now that you're in the food world, you can give the rating for up or down. Baccaro. Is Baccaro in a comeback mode? Do you go to Baccaro?
Yeah, I think that they do group dinners really well. They have that like downstairs area.
Great room.
Kind of like a grotto.
Yes.
And yes, I've been there several times. And yeah, they have good tables and good service. And it's like right there. That's kind of a perfect place.
And then Odeon. We touched on it earlier, but what's the feeling there now? Is that back? Is that a place you would stop by?
Odeon feels kind of like kitsch to me.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Because it's historic and like because you want to get a cosmopolitan, though it wasn't actually invented there. It was invented at Long Island Bar, but like whatever. I heard a crazy fun fact that has nothing to do with art. The actor that played Jim, John Krasinski, was a bartender at the Odeon when he got the call that he was going to be on The Office, which I thought was just a really funny thing, really funny scene. I feel like I go, but I don't see as many people I know there as I would like a Baccaro, honestly. Like, I think that after Keith wrote his memoir, his restaurants became more touristy.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
I think that's definitely true of Baltazar.
Wow.
When I go to Baltazar now, it's a lot of out-of-towners.
That's interesting. Finelli's?
Finelli's forever.
Yeah.
I'm loyal to Finelli forever.
I like lunching there. Yeah.
I go once every other week at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you run into our people. You see people there.
Yeah, I run into everybody, all walks of life. It's everybody's cafeteria there.
Amazing. There you go. That's a perfect transition. Let's get a little servicey. I think many listeners will either live in New York or visit New York. They'll do art things in New York, and they'll want advice about where to eat. So let's start with New York, then maybe we'll have time and we'll jump to some other cities. Let's start maybe the hardest first, or complicated. Uptown, Upper East Side. You're going to the Gordon Veneklassen Gallery. You're stopping by 980 Madison, 976 now to the Gagosian Gallery. Where are you having lunch? Where are you getting drinks? What are your go-tos uptown?
Uptown, I think Dorian's Red Hand is kind of
Oh, great
north.
call.
Yeah.
Great call.
It has that feeling, like random is the wrong word. It's like you copy-pasted Walker's and put it uptown. I think I would tell you to go have dinner at Cafe Antonucci.
Phenomenal place.
If you don't know the lore about it, it was Gaetano Pesce was a regular there. There's a lot of his artwork in the restaurant. I love the environment in there. I feel like there are model ships in there too.
Yes. I just went for the first time recently for lunch. They had a great lunch special. It was like 2 courses for 30, 3 courses for 35. Very quiet room, but like still humming and amazing.
It's really, really chill. I've only been for dinner and I love it for dinner. It has a nice, like, kind of bright feeling. You sort of feel like you're in south of France or something.
Yes.
And then Heidelberg. Have you been to Heidelberg?
Oh,
German place?
I've been to their like sausage stand next door.
Yeah.
But it looks phenomenal. I mean, it looks like one of the great old school German restaurants.
Yeah.
What's your order at Heidelberg?
Oh, I'm getting Spätzle for sure.
Yeah.
Jaeger Schnitzel. I love heavy winter food, and that's very German. Every time I've been to Basel, I'm very pleased with what I eat.
Those are good ones. Those are good curveballs. I didn't expect you to go with either of those. Let's jump to Chelsea. We've already discussed a little bit the difficulties over there, but what's your play?
I don't have one, to be honest.
Are you a Cookshop fan? Do you like it?
I don't love Cookshop. I don't like the energy in there.
Yeah. When they renovated it, this was a while ago now, it got even more crowded and it's too much.
It's so loud. I can't handle it. I usually just go down to West Village. If I must, I am going to, there's How Noodle. There's like a noodle place that I like over there, but it's not a scene. I'm looking at my Google Maps right now. I have so many things are marked down and Chelsea is just like this huge glaring lack.
Any place for drinks, Chelsea? Do you go to Porchlight? Are you a Porchlight fan?
Oh yeah, Porchlight's nice. Yeah. I like that. And then there's a few hotel bars over there that I'm forgetting.
Oh.
Chelsea's a blind spot for me, to be honest. I would go to West Village. I would go to Commerce Inn if I was going. Yeah.
I almost went there the other night, and then actually Via Carota had a table, and so I was so happy. Is Commerce Inn good? It's kind of
Commerce Inn
old school, right?
So good. And guess who was there last time I was there? Sofia Coppola.
Wow. The food is like colonial New York or something, right?
It's like you would go and expect to wear like tri-corner hat. So much like weird nostalgia for that kind of like aesthetic right now. It's like bushels of like hay like on the wall.
Kind of like Freeman's. Maybe Freeman's will have a comeback because that's sort of the vibe. It's colonial era in New York.
So yeah, if you're going to Chelsea, don't go to Chelsea. You go down.
Nice. Well, and also your point about being a blind spot is such a good one because frankly, there are fewer galleries there now and you don't need to be there all day. I find like you can take half the day, knock out a good chunk of streets, and then you're on your way maybe to downtown, which is probably the most fun.
Just going to enjoy yourself more, I think. And then like Tribeca is having a moment. We've already talked about Frenchette. We've talked about Walker's. But what's exciting is that, Keith McNally's son's restaurant called Faux is opening there, I think, in the fall. And then also Major Food Group, Mario Carbone and Rich Teresi's food group is taking over the Tribeca Grill. So there's a lot of new energy coming to
the
Tribeca.
old Drew Nearparent. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. What are your other go-tos downtown?
I had the most phenomenal meal. I think the best meal I've had all year, based on the food, was Pizza Studio Tamaki, which is East Village.
Oh,
it's
yes, I've heard about this.
So good. You have to go. That's a little bit far off the map from where the galleries are, I guess.
That's a great tip, though.
I mean, King is excellent. King is so good, but that's pretty expensive and a little hard to get into. Where else is my favorite? Where do you normally go? You are good at exploring.
Well, the Tribeca to me is tricky. Lower East Side, there are not so many galleries anymore, but for a quick eat, it's North Dumpling. They moved a block south. I also love, although it's changed, Eastwood over on Clinton, especially if it's really early. It's near Ernesto's, East Broadway and Clinton. You can sit at the bar, have a burger, have a beer. It gets crowded later on.
Have you been to Maxie's Noodle? That's so good.
No, tell me about Maxie's
Noodle. It's on Mott Street, and it's just really perfect noodle soup, which is always what I want to eat. I have yet to go to Bubby's, which has had such a comeback in Tribeca because of the Carolyn Bessette and JFK Jr. show.
I was trying to understand why that had become a thing again.
That's exactly why. Yeah, but I haven't been yet. I need to go.
Let's jump to other cities. You had mentioned that when you were on the art beat, when you were pounding the pavement at art fairs, you would usually find your way. And that really is one of the funniest and best things. It's a little bit like with the Davos crowd, like the joke that, these billionaires know Davos better than, their own neighborhood. It's true that like the art people like have this sense of like, oh, these are the 5 restaurants you're supposed to go to in Venice or Paris. What were your favorites in, say, pick any city that you've enjoyed going to?
I'm not breaking any new ground here, but I've had amazing food in Paris. It's fun to like draw the New York comparisons. There's like this trifecta of different brasseries that is very Times Square-ish, or like what Times Square once was. And Le Connétable, it's not like I'm going there for food really, but those places are really fun. Last time I was there, I went to Clamato, which is amazing. It's seafood, the sister restaurant to this place, Septime, which I've not been to. Everybody seems to love to go to Le Duc, and it's right by the catacombs. Last time I was there, everybody was talking about this place, Tarantula, which is such a tremendous name for a restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
And it's Mexican food by way of French chefs, which I'm so interested in and would love to go to. And then, I've spent a ton of time in Los Angeles and like kind of with the art scene out in LA. And one of the best gallery dinners I've ever been to is at Yamashiro, which is where they filmed the fight scene in Kill Bill. Have you been there? Are you familiar with this place?
No, this is all news to me. Tell us.
It's Japanese, and it's on a hill in the Hollywood Hills. And it has this sprawling, amazing view of LA, and it's sushi boats, like really garish.
Oh, wait, no, I think I went to a bachelor party there long ago.
That sounds about right. It's like
kind of faded, right? It's not like glitzy.
No, it's not cool. It's cool, but it's
cool,
like,
but it's not like Nobu or something.
No. You don't really go for quality. But yeah, Stir Crazy. Oh my gosh, Stir Crazy, which is run by a gallerist named Harley Wertheimer, who runs Castle Gallery. And Stir Crazy is fabulous. It's so good. It's like natural wines. I spent my summer in Los Angeles, and I would reliably see any New York art world person at Stir Crazy if they came into town. It's that kind of spot. And they have really good food there too. It's very small plates, California, like healthy produce. Gorgeous.
Love it.
He has rotating art in there too, which is really great. London, I had one of the best meals of my life at a place called the Pumsal. Pub food, they have like these like amazing little tiny little sausages that are so salty and good. Man, the
Do you go to St. John?
Is so good. No, I've never been.
I was just in London, and of course that's where I ran into, keep it a blind item, I ran into a noted MoMA curator and a noted artist at one of the St. John locations. Amazing. And it's so like art world in the sense that, right, it's stripped down. It's just white walls, basically. Incredible cocktail and wine list, and just like really tasty and sort of aggressive food, like all sorts of organ meats, but still really pleasurable and easy. Oh, great meal. And then I also did in London, Toklas, the
new Freeze place.
From the Freeze founders. Yeah, which was great. It was just really solid, like Italian, chill, the sort of food you want to eat, kick back, relax, a good green salad. I think we get some pasta. It was delicious. And you can sit outside on the deck. You're right by the Courtauld. Just a very civilized experience. This is maybe the final thing I want to talk about is there has been this funny trend in recent years of dealers, artists, art people opening restaurants, right? So it's Amanda and Matthew from Freeze opening Toklas. You pointed out Lucian Smith. Gagosian has his restaurant. Are you a fan of any of these? Have you been to like Capamassa?
I have never been to Capamassa, but it's on my list to go. It's prohibitively expensive, right?
I think it's like comically, it famously shows up in the Epstein files, right?
Right, yeah. Woody
like
Allen's
they're
order.
like, Woody's coming over and he needs his like 3 rolls.
Yeah, it's
Woody
a
beautiful room.
Order.
I sat at the bar and had like a sparkling water or something before.
Yeah.
Manuela in New York, there's one in Los Angeles. Of course, they have their hospitality group that does things around the world. I'm just going to say, Manuela, I don't love it. in Soho. It's not even fine, personally.
It's like a crazy environment too. I think it's just like everything we've been talking about with like kind of what the ideal place for the art world to go to, it's the opposite of, where it's just like there's so much art on the walls. Like it really tells you what to think about when you're in there.
Yeah.
I love the Mika Rotenberg bar. I almost just wish that that was the whole entire conceit of the restaurant, was that it just has this like kooky like flower bar, or like if it was just the Louise Bourgeois spider, but like because there's so much, you just kind of can't focus on anything.
Yes. And the food is okay.
The food's okay. They have really imaginative cocktails. I wrote about this really early on with Caper, and it felt like such a wet painty item. They have like a black box theater in the basement that they're activating now, and she did cabaret singing down there one time. And she was great.
Vaguely,
she was really great. It was so fun.
It's all just very Swiss. Everything about this. The room, totally. Even like the little theater. Annie, I basically want to discuss this all day with you, but we should close out. And so maybe the final question I'll ask you is if you can leave our listeners with just one great recommendation for a restaurant in a food neighborhood. What should we order? Where should we go? Guide us, plan our trip out.
Oh my gosh. The most fantastic restaurant I have ever been to in my New York career is Cafe Kestrel in Red Hook. So it's off the beaten path.
Go to Pioneer Works.
Start at Pioneer Works, have a reservation ready, walk over there. It's across the street. It is a perfect little jewelry box. It's so, so, so pretty in there. I feel like I'm in London. Like, I feel like I'm in a really, really nice place in London. If you go in the summer, go in the backyard. They have this incredible chicken with carrots on top that tastes like it was made by like a French grandma. It feels like home cooking in a way. Every bite surprises me. They do this steak that has like a giant beefsteak tomato on top. And it's kind of just like, it's not a joke because it tastes really good, but it's like the joke is that it's like a beefsteak tomato on your beefsteak. And it's delicious. It's so succulent. And like every detail of this place astounds me. And it's just a beautiful restaurant. And this is for my thrifty listeners. They have a special happy hour meal, which is $30. Their burger is fantastic. And you get a martini. And they have it every week. You just have to get out to Red Hook. I mean, you can have a perfect day there. Go to Pioneer Works, go to Cafe Kestrel, and end up at Sunny's. That's just like, it's amazing.
What a note to end on. A perfect high note. That is awesome. Annie, it is so fun to do this.
It's so good to be back. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome back, of course, anytime. Hopefully we'll see you out and about, and everyone should go read Annie's column. What day does it come out on? What day does it drop?
Mondays, but I think that's going to probably rotate pretty soon. But for the future, Mondays, yeah.
Subscribe to Caper and you'll get it.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, and we'll see you out there at the bars and restaurants and galleries.
See you out there.
That's it for this week's episode. The Yard Angle is produced by Sonia Manalili with contributions from Ben Davis and Caroline Goldstein. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.